That's not a very good way to start a vlog. I'm Jack. I'm an online coach. I am a full-time engineer, a CNC engineer. Go type it in on Google. It's not that exciting at all. And that's me. In a nutshell, I'm a natural bodybuilder as well. I know people often think that I'm not a natural bodybuilder because I'm so big, but I am actually natural. And I'm a shoe connoisseur. That meaning I like shoes a lot, or sneakers. If you're American, sneakers. If you are not, like you're English, it's like crepes or trainers. So I like sneakers, crepes or trainers. Cool. I realised that was probably the worst intro to myself that's ever lived. So, or intro to a person, not to myself. I rarely intro myself, but I've been training for like 10 years, and yeah, it doesn't show sometimes, but I've been training for 10 years. I'm an online coach to, or have coached, maybe hundreds of people to transform their physique. So yeah, I have plans to compete next year, hence why we're going to start this vlog. It's going to be a transition from a mass phase to a kind of a fat loss phase and eventually to stage. I'm kind of midway through the mass now, so I've probably got another like 4 months in a mass, so eating a lot of food, and then we'll transition into a fat loss phase, and then we'll get legally or illegally shredded. But yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun. Hello. I am out on said walk. I typically try and get around 6,000 steps in daily. So what I do is I work a couple of hours in the morning, and then I go for my daily walk, because you know we are fitness inspo. So we've got to have some coffee, we've got to have some work done on a Mac, typically a Mac. No other brand is available, and then we go for our morning walk and we get in vitamin D. I do find with kind of vitamin D supplementation, I do find this a bit unnecessary at times. I do find that typically if you go for a walk before midday, I think you get most of the benefits, not all. Obviously in the winter, I think the need for vitamin D supplementation kind of goes up a little bit, so for now I'm not actually taking it. Maybe in the winter I will. Le Rap is has been passed down 4 generations worth of the Rayner household. It's from my great grandmother, Mrs. Rayner. But basically all we have is a wrap and Tesco barbecue chicken, which was around in 1800s. And basically you just put the barbecue chicken in the wrap and then scissor it. And that's it. I think one thing you'll quickly learn about me is what, Natalie?
You eat a lot.
I eat a lot, fair enough, but my meals are so freaking boring. aren't they?
Yes.
Like, I don't care necessarily for like some fancy food. I like fancy food. You often call me a food snob, but
Mr. Cloudy Lemonade.
yeah, I mean, I'm quite a lemonade snob, but like I can just eat whatever meal. I don't have to necessarily fancy a meal. I can just have like a thrown together meal like that. Fantastic. So we have our first session of the vlog, or of the YouTube gang, and it is going to be a lower. Interesting. I might do a voiceover for this actually and explain why we have biceps at the start of the workout. Pretty much I have shit arms, and I'm doing, or for my show, it's going to be men's physique, which is basically bodybuilding with board shorts. You don't need to show your legs, so that's why there's more of an emphasis on kind of upper body and not necessarily for lower body. Although I do like having, or my goal is to have big legs, so we kind of have to train both like I want them to grow. But obviously, yeah, there is a little bit more emphasis on biceps, hence why they're placed first. If you place a movement at the start of a workout, you are very fresh. So you can basically attack it a little bit better. But we are going to go for, because I train later in the day, so I train typically around like 5 or 6 p.m. It's just when I like to work out. It's not necessarily saying if you don't work out at that time, then it's wrong. Some people prefer AM, I just prefer PM. I feel like I've got a lot more food in me, so I can actually attack the session nicely. That's not to say I don't do AM sessions. I do AM sessions typically on a Saturday just to get the workout done. But yeah, normally I do PM sessions. So we have Endeavour Pump, which I believe if you type in Rainer 10, then you get a 10% discount, which is fantastic. I like helping people out. But we have Cherry today. I do recommend the Blue Raz, but I think Cherry is my favourite. So if you haven't snagged one, please do. That pre-workout hurt me a little bit. Oh, I should have done the half scoop. I should have done the half scoop. Welcome to the very first voiceover. I am your host, Jack Rainer. But yeah, here you see me do biceps because again they are a very weak part of my physique. But nonetheless, this video is mainly going to be called something like good execution or the foundation or something along those lines. One thing I really want to nail from the get-go is how important execution is. If you don't have execution, we're not going to be growing as efficiently as we should be. If our execution is poor, no amounts of volume is going to get you out of that. It might do, but it also might kind of cause an injury. And no amount of intensity is going to get you out as well, or get you out of that. So we want to make sure kind of execution is bang on. Also, it's the same thing with like nutrition. If you haven't got like the foundation, there's no point in worrying about like fancy macronutrient breakdowns. You just kind of have to nail the basics first, and then we can get all kind of fancy. I really want to talk about kind of the in-depth of hypertrophy kind of all the time, but I'm also aware that if I talk about solely that, I'm missing a massive kind of portion of what actually kind of grows a physique, what actually kind of gains muscle, and that is the pillar, the foundation. So Here's me dying on a leg press. I need to get myself a gimbal because it looked a bit shaky, so I apologise for that. But yeah, perform your movements with full range of motion without pain, of course. And then you can build up intensity, then you can build up volume, and then you can grow, and you can almost be as big as me, which is not that big, but thank you for listening. A very productive session today. So typically, so I had an intro week into the mesocycle, so I'm actually 2 weeks into the mesocycle, so this was an intro week. Basically, it sets you up nicely for a productive mesocycle. You don't want to kind of go into the gym and train with loads and loads of volume, loads and loads of intensity, and then end up having like a 3-week mesocycle. That would be very counterproductive for hypertrophy. So we kind of have an intro week, make sure we're kind of neurologically firing, make sure like pump and disruption is there. You'd actually be surprised of how little amount of volume you can get away with, quote unquote, if your execution's good. So yeah, and obviously intensity is good as well. So yeah, that's what we did. So I'm in my 2nd week, which is predicted kind of MAV, minimum adaptive volume. I'm going to talk about the volume landmarks in depth, maybe in another vlog. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Again, I don't want to speak about the nitty gritty until I've got the foundation in place. So yeah, I'm going home and I'm going to get something to eat, which is typically so I think you saw the pre-workout meal. This post-workout meal is normally 180 grams of chicken, typically. I think tonight is the pasta variation, so we have 200 grams of rigatoni. Typically, I'd have like something like blueberries with it. I don't think I'm going to film that, but yeah, and then after that I do have a meal pre-bed, which is going to be 125 milliliters of milk with a double scoop or double serving of protein. I don't necessarily like having carbohydrates right before bed. It does dampen sleep quality. We have data on that. So yeah, typically I like to have my carbohydrates around the training window. Again, I'll likely do a vlog, kind of how I set up my nutrition, how you could set up your nutrition. Obviously it's very different for everyone. Like if you're AM training, it looks a lot different to when you're PM training, or if you train twice per day, it will look a lot different to how someone would set up their meals if you're only training once per day. So that's what I'll do, and then right before bed, again, I'll do my sleep routine in another vlog. So there's lots of vlogs coming, which I'm very excited for, of how I set up my sleep, because obviously you need a sleep routine before supplementation. But I do have supplements which I will take. I will take the Endeavour Hibernate. I'll have 2 tablets of that, and providing sleep environment and routine is there, you sleep like a little kitten. But I appreciate everybody who likes, who shares, and who subscribes. It's gonna sound weird for the first one. That sounded weird coming out of my mouth, but yeah, I'm gonna go and eat because I'm very, very hungry. And good night, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for watching.